Hello, beautiful beings. We are talking about going full time in your heart-centered business today. I'm Katie J. I've been full time in my heart-centered business for a little over a year now, and I'm really excited to talk about this topic as part of the solo series, which is supporting light workers, healers, and all of you magical business owners out there who want to go full time in your business, who want to help the world heal through your talents and gifts and expertise and experience. So today, that is what we are talking about, is going full time in your business as a solopreneur, as the only person running your business, as the only heart-centered employee, CEO, boss bitch that is running your business. You are the one that does all the work. I had a podcast manager when I went full time. That was the only person that I hired regularly. And we can talk about that later if you want to. So what I want you all to do before I get started is just, as comments or questions come through, just drop them in the, thank you. Thanks for complimenting my earrings, Miss Jade. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box, drop them in the question box right there. You can share those and I will get to them at the end of this mini training on going full time in your business. So I have a few things to talk with you all about, and I'm really excited to go ahead and dive in. So let's do that. So this question actually came up in the last solo series, and I'm really glad that we get to sit here and talk about this, because it's kind of a big deal to go full time in your business, to go from being an employee to being an employer, or being a boss, or being a CEO. It is. Good morning, Live My Health. Thanks for joining. It's a big shift in your mentality. It's a big shift in your money mindset. It's a big shift in your ways of operating and doing your life, because you're in complete control of your schedule. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first thing to ask yourself when it comes to going full time in your business is, what do I need? What do I need to feel confident going full time? And the reason you want to ask yourself this is because you want to make sure, whether it's now at this stage in your business, before you've gone full time, or once you're full time, doesn't matter. You always want to show up clean to a sales call, meaning you aren't showing up and thinking, I need this call, I need to make the sale, I need to make this sale, I need this money, I need it now, I need it. If you're in that energy, you're going to repel your ideal client, because nobody wants that desperate energy around them. So you got to make sure that you're showing up clean. Now, what does it look like for you to show up clean when you are full time? For me, what I needed to know how to sell high ticket, right? Because I knew that if I knew how to sell high ticket, if I know how to sell a $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 coaching container, then I can make it full time, right? Because if I spend all my energy all day long doing that, how could I not be successful? If I know how to do it, I can do it again and again and again and pay all my bills, and it's fine, right? So that was the first thing that I needed to know how to do in order to feel comfortable going full time. This is me, not you. This is me. So you think about yours. I also needed 3 months savings. I needed 3 months savings set aside. Keep in mind, you guys, I went full time in my business officially at the end of February 2020. So like right before COVID hit. And I had 3 months living expenses set aside because I was going full time in my business. I took a whole month off. I took the whole month of March off, and I went skiing. I went to Costa Rica. I sat on the beach. I busted my chin. I sat on the beach and meditated. And then I came back to the United States and ran my business. But I knew that I needed 3 months living expenses set aside so that I could show up clean on my sales calls, so that I could show up and say, I don't need this money. I don't need this client. They need me, right? They need my energy. They need what I can provide them in this container. I don't need them. It's not the other way around. So I made sure to have 3 months savings, because I was like, okay, if I can't make a single high ticket sale in 3 months, then I don't need to be going full time in my business. I'll just get another job, right? So I knew that, if I had 3 months of just pouring my heart into my business, then I would be successful. And that felt good to me. That felt confident to me. My business coach, DL, she set aside a full year's salary. She set aside her whole social worker salary for a year before going full-time in her business. She was side hustling that whole time. And this is not to discount you guys. Like, remember, I started my business, I started coaching in the summer of 2018, and I went full-time in my business the winter of 2020. So like a year and a half went by where I was still just figuring all of this, or sorry, almost 2 years went by before I really figured out how to do all these things and how to run a business and feel confident in that. So I had 3 months salary set aside. Maybe you want to have 6 months living expenses set aside. Maybe it's a full year. But remember, like, when I was building my business, I was side hustling, right? I was working 7 days a week for other people and still in my business and still volunteering, right? Like, I did everything I could to make sure that no matter where I was in my business, I was never showing up on a sales call thinking, I need this money, right? So think about that with where you are in your business. If it's a baby business, meaning it's within the first 5 years, do not put pressure on your business to bring in cash money if you don't believe that you can, right? So if you don't believe that you can bring in money, then find another source of income while you're building your confidence on how you can make sales and how you can bring in money to your business. It's okay. You're not failing at being an entrepreneur because you have to get another job. Lots of companies, let's say you were starting like a bike tour company, lots of companies have to get investors to buy all those bikes, right? In the beginning, they have to get money from somewhere else. We, as solopreneurs, we are our investors. We are the ones that are investing in our companies and in our businesses. So sometimes that money has to come from somewhere else before you end up going full time. So that's just a side note. I digress. So I needed 3 things to feel comfortable going full time in my business. I needed to know how to sell high ticket. I needed 3 months savings set aside, and I needed to know how to get a job. I needed to know how to get a job, meaning I know of a natural food store in the North Lake Tahoe area that would hire me back in a second, right? I know I can name at least 3 employers of people who would hire me in a second. I have always left my jobs, the things that I've done in the past, better than I found them, right? I've always treated people with respect and with kindness, and I've always worked as hard as I needed to in order to do that job, right? So I know that I knew that if I didn't make a single sale in 3 months, my first 3 months of going full time, if I didn't make a single sale and I just failed, that I could go get another job and that it was not the end of the world, right? Like, just get a fucking job and start over and keep going, right? It's not the end of the world if you fail. And this thought was actually something I read in the 4-Hour Workweek, which really was my inspiration for becoming an entrepreneur, because I was like, what? It's possible to have a 4-hour work week? The projector in me was like, woohoo, sign me up. And what Tim Ferriss always talks about is the fear of failing and thinking about, like, what is the actual worst case scenario here? The worst case scenario is nobody, Your Highness says, I freaking adore you. I freaking adore you, Your Highness. Like, what is the worst case scenario? That you don't make a single sale in the 3 months of going full time in your business, and you have to get another job, lick your wounds, admit that it didn't work, and try again, right? The actual worst case scenario is that you maybe end up on your friend's couch or your parents' basement or whatever. But it's not like it's death. It's not like the worst case scenario is that, you're completely banished from all of society and you can never interact with anybody ever again. No, like, for me, it's worth the risk. I am worth the investment. I am worth betting on myself, right? So I knew I know how to get a job. I know how to sell high ticket. I've got 3 months savings set aside. How can I not be successful? And when I went into going full time in my business with that mindset, remember, I only had $800 a month coming in payment plans when I went full time in my business. $800 a month. $500 of those dollars were going to my podcast manager to create free resources for you all. And another $200 of those dollars were going to Ayurveda school. Another 300 of those dollars were going to Amanda Francis's money mindset course, right? I was continuously investing back into the business. I was in the red, right? I was making zero money in my business. I was not paying myself anything, and I'll get to that point in a second. I was not paying myself anything when I decided to go full time because I didn't need that to feel confident in myself. Maybe you do. Maybe you want to be paying yourself a full-time salary by the time you go full-time in your business. It's whatever it is that you need to feel good and confident and like you are, like you can't even fail. Like it's not even possible to fail, because if you failed, you just get a job, which is where you are right now. So it's not even really failing. It's just taking a few steps forward, a few steps back, and learning along the way. So go into this process of going full-time in your business by asking yourself, what do I need to feel good and confident and comfortable with this? Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is separate bank accounts, because I brought this up in one of my client trainings recently, and they're all like, is that something that we need to do? So I'm going to be doing like an in-detail training with my clients on separate bank accounts, but right now I want to talk about this with you because when you have a business, your business has a bank account and you have a bank account. Your business is separate from you. Your business and you. So when I get paid by my clients or when people make donations for breathwork, it goes into PayPal, right? And then from PayPal, I send the money to my business checking account. I set aside a chunk of that money for taxes into my business savings account. I see a lot of hearts. Y'all liking this? I'm sorry, this is like the like nitty-gritty logistical details of running a business, but this is how it is. Like, even though we're spiritual entrepreneurs, we still need to know the like masculine structure of running a business. So PayPal sends to my business checking account, and then I set aside money for taxes, and then I pay myself, right? So then I send money from my business checking account to my personal checking account. Now, I don't want you to overthink this because I just got an official business banking account a few weeks ago, right? I just had 2 separate banking accounts with 2 separate checking account numbers. So let's say you have Bank of America. I'm glad y'all are enjoying this. You're like, give it to us. We need to hear this. So let's say you have Bank of America. You could just open a separate checking account within your Bank of America or within your Chase or within your Wells Fargo, whatever it is that you have. You can set up a separate banking account, and one is personal and one is business. Don't worry about like, oh, it's not actually a business account until you're like setting up an LLC or a corporation or something like that. Don't worry about needing a business bank account. For now, when it's like you're setting up the foundation of running your own business and being being a full-time entrepreneur, you just want to make sure that you have the finances separate. And I could talk about finances for days. I hired a financial coach who's helping me like create all these short-term savings buckets, and it's blowing my mind because one of the laws of the universe is that nature abhors a vacuum, meaning nature like does not like vacuums. It won't allow vacuums to exist. So if you create this bank account, or if you create this short-term savings bucket that's like, this is for my next car payment or my next car purchase, or this is for gifts this year, or this is for my dog, right? Then the universe will naturally bring you more money to fill in the blanks, to fill in those buckets. So I digress. Make sure that you have separate banking accounts. And once you have separate banking accounts, start paying yourself twice a month, just like an employer would pay you twice a month. Maybe it's on the 1st and the 15th. That's when I pay myself. So I'm getting paid meaning I'm going to send money from my business checking account to my personal checking account on the 1st to pay myself. Even if you just can even if you're not bringing enough money to pay yourself a full salary yet, like I said, nature abhors a vacuum. So start paying yourself $50 twice a month. Then start paying yourself $100 twice a month. Then pay yourself $500 twice a month. Whatever it is that your business can manage at this point, get into the habit of paying yourself from the business, because, as I don't want to get too far into like what's write-offs and what's not. When you're first getting started, like that business checking account, right? That's where you're going to take things like paying for your website and paying your podcast manager and paying for this scheduling service or whatever it is, paying for Zoom. All of that comes out of your business checking account. Paying yourself also comes out of your business checking account, and then it goes into your personal. So start the process of paying yourself twice a month now. Okay, 2 more things to cover when it comes to going full-time. I don't see any questions so far, just a lot of love from you all, so I'm glad this is really helpful. Keep it together. Heather said, I could do $50 a month and then let it grow. Exactly. Start where you're at. And when it comes to those savings buckets too, let's say you're saving up for a certain software, or you're saving up for a course that you want to do, or a coach that you want to work in. Go ahead and create that savings bucket now. Go ahead and create that envelope and start putting cash in it now. Go ahead and start make that short-term savings bucket, as my financial coach calls it, and start setting aside $20, $5, $200, whatever you can now, and say, like, this is important to me, right? What you're doing is you're telling your subconscious mind, this is important to me. Start to attract money to go into this account so that I can buy this, right? But if you're not going to take the time to set aside, like I have on my list of to-dos today, to set up an Alaska fund. This is for a dog that I'm looking to adopt. She needs $400 worth of medication every single month. And I was like, all right, yeah, I can step into that abundance level. I want to adopt this dog because no one else is going to fucking pay for this dog, right? And she's perfect. She's awesome. She's beautiful. She's all the way in the Pacific Northwest, so I've got to drive up to meet her. But I'm going to start saving for her now, because it's important to me that I get to take this dog home, right? So if something's important to you, start setting aside money for it now. This is I kind of digress a little bit, but I get really fired up about money and finances and helping people get organized and calling in money with practical and spiritual steps. So thank you guys for vibing with this. I'm seeing that you are enjoying this. Okay. Your Highness says, I prayed and manifested you at the full moon last night, and boom, here you are with this golden knowledge. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for sharing. I'm so glad that this is helpful, Your Highness. Highness. I love that you have lots of S's on there. Okay, so we covered separate bank accounts. All right, now when it comes to, your digressions are priceless. I'm glad that they're helpful. Okay, so the other thing that I have written down is sell larger packages for longer periods of time, including payment plans for consistent income. This was a game changer for me that allowed me to not worry about like where money is coming from over the next 3, 6, 9 months as a full-time entrepreneur. I was talking with one of my friends recently who is a massage therapist, and I was like, look, what if you sold like a 6-month package where you massage someone like once or twice a month, right? And then instead of selling like one-off massages, you can have packages and know, all right, they're on a subscription button that I created on PayPal, which I can't show you how to do that on here, but I created a video for my one-on-one clients on how to do this. But you can basically go to PayPal, make a subscription button. That subscription is like $100 a month for 10 months, right? That's $1,000 coming into you. And all you have to do is send that to your clients, and then let's say they get 1 call a month with you, or 1 massage a month with you, or 1 Reiki session a month with you for that price. And then you have guaranteed income, $100 a month coming in on the 4th of the month, every single month. Now you just need to sell however many of those, and you can have consistent income stacking on top of each other, so that you know exactly what's coming in, when it's coming in, and you're able to manage your finances more smoothly and easily as a full-time entrepreneur. So if you're somebody who is selling a lot of one-off packages, that's great, that's awesome. Go talk to all the people who you've worked with over the past year, gather their testimonials, and put together larger packages. Sell high ticket so you have more consistent income coming in when you're full-time as an entrepreneur. The last thing I'm going to talk about is structuring your days as a full-time entrepreneur, because this is something that that my clients have asked me a lot about. So when I structure my days, I know as a healer, as a space holder, as a coach, all of the magic of my container comes from me being and feeling supported, feeling resourced, feeling nourished, feeling juicy, right? If I'm not feeling nourished and juicy and supported and resourced, then I can't show up for my clients. Then I can't really hold space for them because I'm worried about the crack in my windshield, or I'm worried about I'm just tired that day, or whatever it is. My job as a space holder is to show up feeling good. So I structure my days around what feels good for me. What feels good for me? So I have an 1.5-hour morning routine every day. That feels good for me because when I come out of that morning routine, I'm centered in my own energy. I feel like I can hold space, and I'm rested and feeling supported and resourced. So I start off my day with a morning routine. Now, how people structure their days and weeks varies from entrepreneur to entrepreneur. Some entrepreneurs like to have it so that they do all of their calls over the course of 2 to 3 days, right? So like my business coach, DL, she works from 9 to 9, 2 days a week doing calls. I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound good to me. That doesn't sound good to me at all. I would much rather spread it out and have a few calls in the morning, a few calls in the afternoon, and space in between to make meals, go on a walk, read outside in nature. And I structure my days that way, where I have few phone calls in the morning, few phone calls in the afternoon, and I pretty much only work from 10 to 4, right? That's shifting a little bit here and there as I prepare to go on the road, and what I want to encourage you is to remember that you can constantly experiment and change, right? You don't have to stay in this tight, rigid structure anymore. You're an entrepreneur. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You're full-time in your business. All you have to do is show up feeling good, right? So what feels good to you? Does it feel good to stack all your calls 2 days a week and then have the rest of the time to work on admin work, or to plan for your next launch, or to create graphics or whatever it is? Like, what feels good to you? Do you want to spread it out? Do you want to crunch it all together? It's also helpful maybe to look at your human design on this. I'm not going to go too far into human design, but my business coach who likes to do those 9 to 9 days, I think she's a manifesting generator or a generator. So that means she's a worker bee, right? Like when she's doing aligned work, she likes to work a lot. She's willing to work a lot. Whereas me, when I am in my best as a projector, when I'm only working 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day. So my job right now, or my focus right now, is figuring out how can I work less and less and less and less. So after a year of being full-time in my business, I am now offloading as much as I can to my virtual assistant. I'm still paying myself the same amount. My business is still growing, but I am paying her to do the things that I don't want to do, because if there are things that, and maybe this is something that you should think about too as you are creating your schedule and as you are transitioning into full-time, think about the things you don't want to do. Think about the things you don't like to do. Think about the things that you're like, oh, I keep procrastinating this and putting this off. Permission to outsource, right? Maybe you're not ready to outsource yet. You can't afford to outsource yet. I mean, the 2 jobs that I was working 7 days a week before going full-time, they were paying for my podcast manager, right? They were paying for my business to run while I was getting it started. So there's no right or wrong way to structure your day as a full-time entrepreneur. You can't mess it up, right? And I'm constantly experimenting. I'm like, maybe I would like to not take any calls until 3, and then have a call at 3 and a call at 6. Let's see how I like that structure. And I'm constantly playing with that with my business and seeing what feels best. When am I showing up as my best? I thought that I would not be able to handle an evening call, but I had one a few last week, and it went great. And I absolutely loved it. And I was like, wow, this is super easy. It's like catching up with my girlfriend in the evening. So it ended up working out really well, but I wouldn't have known that unless I just tried it out. So that is what I would encourage you to do as you are preparing to go full-time in your business. There's so many other things I can talk about. I see that there are some questions in here potentially, so let me read through this. Keep It Together Heather said, what about when you're just starting out? I would love to do a longer-term program. If I'm still building my audience and trust, or maybe I have limiting beliefs there. Yes, projector over. Oh, Heather is a projector. You can only handle 4 hours. Yeah, and when I learned I was a projector and that I could only handle 4 hours a day, I was like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. Like when I was working 7 days a week, I felt so unaligned and so much in my like hustle, and nervous system was just constantly in stress mode. So this is the best way. Heather, maybe you can ask your question in another way. You said, what about when you're just starting out? I would love to do a longer term program. Do you mean a longer term program where like you are running a longer term program, or you are looking to invest in a longer term program? I think you mean when you're just getting started out, and you were talking when I think this maybe came through when I was talking about selling higher ticket, selling longer term programs, and now you're saying you're still building your audience, you're still building the trust of your audience. So if that's the case, I'm going to talk on that, and if it's not the case, let me know. But basically, if you're in the point where you're building your audience, you're building the know, like, and trust factor with your audience, you are you're generating leads, and you're finding warm leads and qualifying you're figuring out who's a qualified lead and all that good stuff, you can still sell high ticket. You can still sell high ticket. I have clients with followings that are less than 500 people, and they like followings on Instagram of less than 500 people who have sold high ticket and paid back their investment on one-on-one coaching with me within just a few months okay, I have one client, Nico, who was terrified of like going live on Instagram or like showing her face on Instagram and stories or anything like that. And after she decided she was ready, so we worked together for 2 months, she worked through that, and then in December she decided she was ready to start showing up and talking about life coaching and the things that she does. And within 3 months, she sold 2 of her one-on-one coaching packages, which is a high ticket coaching package, and made back her investment on the course, or on one-on-one coaching with me. So just because you're getting started doesn't mean that there aren't people out there that you can still help. Heather said, yes, I would love to run a 6-month program for my clients, but I feel like they don't want to do that. Then find new clients. I have clients who, who signed up for like one-on-one for 1 month, for 1 month of coaching. And I have clients who signed up for 6 months of coaching, right? If you have a package that is going to get somebody a transformation, hopefully that package is based off of market research. Hopefully that package is based off of what your clients and what your ideal client says that they need, says that they want, says that they're working through, what their challenges are. And so you create that package. And I think I talked about this in a previous solo series. I'll share all of them because today is the last one. I'll share all of them on my stories after this. But basically, you can if you have been working with people and you realize like, okay, we've been working together in one-off sessions, but really what's going to get the transformation is a full 6-month program. Then what you want to do from there is speak to the people who would benefit from that 6-month program, right? It might not be your one-off clients. It might be a different set of clients. It might be a completely different set of clients. It might be, and I don't know what you do, Heather, but let's say maybe you can tell me what you do in the chat, and that way I can give you a more detailed example. But let's just say you are a Reiki practitioner, and you've been meeting with people one-on-one or like one-off times, and they're like, yeah, I don't need a full thing. Then don't try to sell to them. Sell to someone else, right? Sell to someone else on the internet. And as long as you are showing up and giving value, which is what we're doing here. Anxiety coaching. Perfect. Okay, thank you, Heather. So Heather is an anxiety coach. So you've been working with people who I'm sure have been getting great results working with you. Gather those testimonials, start putting together your 6-month coaching package, and sell to other people, right? It doesn't have to be those same people necessarily. I feel like I've said this again and again, and maybe if this wasn't helpful, let me know so that I can be more clear. But your clients that don't want 6 months of coaching are not your ideal clients for 6 months of coaching. Go find your ideal clients through showing up on social media and giving value, through word of mouth advertising, through speaking confidently about your expertise and your experience and your gifts and your talents. Oh, good. This is so helpful. I'm really glad. So yeah, you can create a 6-month package. You can create a 12-month package. There are people who need 12 months of support to get through their anxiety. I guarantee it. I guarantee it, Heather. I think there's another question in here. Okay, Becca says, I'm with you, Heather. So a lot of y'all are experiencing something different. Or something similar. Ashley Kimmer says, hi, Ashley, you were here last time. Best ways to work through limiting beliefs that are holding you back from taking the leap. I love this question. The best way to work through limiting beliefs that are holding you back from taking the leap. Limiting beliefs. So what I like to do as I'm like making big shifts in my business or in my life, anytime that you are calling in something new, anytime that you are expanding, anytime you're growing, anytime you're thriving or you're planning on thriving, your brain is going to tell you some crazy things. Your brain's going to tell you that you can't do it, that it's too hard, that you're not smart enough, that you're not ready, you don't have enough capital, you're not old enough, you're too old, whatever it is. Your brain's going to tell you some crazy things. We don't need our brains when it comes to manifesting. We don't need our brains when it comes to really even running our spiritual, heart-centered businesses, right? Our brains are going to tell us crazy things like, you have to do it the same way that she did it. If you follow her formula, you'll get the exact same results. If you do it, you know what I mean? Like, we'll get crazy thoughts coming up. So what I like to do when I notice those is I take a sheet of paper, I rip it out of my journal, and I actually did this yesterday. That's what this is. I just wrote out my fears. Do you want me to read my fears to you? Give me some hearts if you want me to read my fears to you. Because this is what I do. Like, when you have limiting beliefs that are just like bouncing around in your head all day, and then you're like, oh, I just won't do anything, or you stay in procrastination, or you stay in perfectionism, and you never like move forward and make a move. You got to get them out. You got to get them out of your head and onto paper. You got to get them moving out of your system. Really look at them. Feel the feelings that they want you to feel. So many hearts. Okay, y'all want me to read my fears. Get them all out. And then what I would encourage you to do, which I didn't do with this yet, is burn it. Burn that shit. Release it. Let it go. And come back to the more empowering belief. Like I said before, I was taking Amanda Francis's Money Mentality Makeover around this time last year because I went full-time in my business, and I was like, the success of my business is 110% determined by me, by my mindset, by my choices, by my energy. So I was like, I'm willing to invest in anything to get me into the mindset, into the energy of abundance and of flow and of power and of ease. And once you have dumped everything onto this piece of paper, burn it and find your new affirmations, your new mantras. Mantra literally means to reinforce the mind. We're teaching the mind something new. We're teaching and creating new neuro pathways because the mind is not helpful. It's been programmed. It's been conditioned. It's been domesticated. We don't need it. We need the things, we need to be listening to the guidance that comes from our heart, right? So you can work through limiting beliefs with a coach. You can work through limiting beliefs with a piece of paper and pen. So some of the things that I write down when I am just flushing out my limiting beliefs and getting them out. I'm afraid that E's retreat won't fill up. Someone canceled her intro call today because she wants to go to Sedona with her mom. And I'm afraid that she was the last person that's interested, right? Like all of these things are just like, they're things that are bouncing around in my mind. What if this is a complete fail? What if I can't fill it? What if I look like an idiot? What if no one wants to come? What if I can't even read this. What if so... I don't even know what this says. And that's the best part, is that in the moment, I'm sure I knew what it said, right? I was just getting it down on paper and writing super fast. That's the other thing, is when I do this exercise, I don't let my pen stop moving. I just let it keep going. So I flushed all that out, and then I actually shifted my energy and my thought process. And I said, because now that I got that out, I said, the truth is Spirit is working their magic through me. The truth is Spirit is working in the hearts of the two women who are right for this trip. Maybe they are women I've worked with before, maybe not, but they are coming. E's retreat is full. And then I write, E's retreat is full, E's retreat is full, E's retreat is full, E's retreat is full, E's retreat is full. Spirit is already working in the lives of the women who will say yes to this retreat. It is full, it is full, it is the fullest it's ever been, it's the fullest it ever is. It is the fullest, it's so full. It doesn't matter how long it takes, how many people cancel, or who drops out of discovery calls. E's retreat is full, it is full, it is the best fucking retreat I am overqualified for this retreat. I am, you know what I mean? Like, I just riff, right? I poured out all of my thoughts. I poured out all of my fears. Like, I'm afraid this isn't going to work. I'm afraid I'm going to fail. I'm afraid I'm going to fall flat on my face. And this feels really vulnerable even to share with you all here. But I think it's really important for you to know that, like, this is how I work through my limiting beliefs. I get them out on paper and then I shift. Then I'm like, you know what? The truth is, all I need is 2 more people to sign up. The truth is, I'm checking in with 1 more person to sign up today. The truth is, this retreat is already full. The truth is, Spirit is working in the hearts of the people who are meant for this. And Heather, this goes back to your original question about the 6-month coaching package, is that, oh, y'all said this is so beautiful, and that I'm so beautiful. Thank you. This goes back to the 6-month coaching package we talked about before. It is not my job to convince people to join my programs. It's not my job to objection handle people into joining my retreat and my programs. Like, I don't give a fuck if you join or not, right? There are people out there who need this retreat, and everyone who has said yes to this retreat or to my coaching programs or to my courses, they're a fuck yes in their body. They're like, I need this. Like, people are crying on the phone, like, I need this trip, right? Like, that is the energy of the people that are coming into this program. Not like, hey, are you sure you want this? Are you sure you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Right? Like, no, Spirit is working in the lives and in the hearts of the people who are meant for this program. Spirit is working through me. All I'm doing as a spiritual business coach, all I'm doing as a spiritual entrepreneur is acting as a conduit for divine love and healing to flow through me. So when Spirit's like, hey, do a retreat, I do a retreat and the people fill in. When Spirit says, hey, some people need a course on manifestation and making it really fucking easy for them, then I say, okay, I'll create a course. And then Spirit does the work in the hearts of the people. Like, I do my morning meditation and I pray and I think to myself, I imagine hearts, just like the hearts that you guys are sending to me. I imagine those hearts like exploding out of my heart and into the universe and going across the world and landing in your heart and touching you and you feeling Spirit and saying, I really need a retreat. and I've really been wanting to go to Sedona. Or I really need a coach to hold space for me, to love on me, and to support me along this path, because I don't have people in my life who are supportive of this, or I don't have enough people in my life who are supportive of this. So, oh look, there's a woman named Katie, a manifester. I should work with her. I should go on her retreat, right? And I don't have to do anything to convince anybody. I just show up in my power. I just take care of myself and make sure that I do my morning routine and I show up feeling juicy and nourished, right? And then the people come. So that's kind of like a mindset thing, and the long answer to your question about working through limiting beliefs, which is, it's not about me, right? It's not about me. It's not about the offering. It's not about the business. It's about me being a vessel for divine love and energy to flow through me and into the people that need it most. Okay? So grab your journal, grab a pen, put 10 minutes on the clock, freeform write, get that shit out on paper, word vomit all your doubts and your fears about going full time in your business. Let it release onto the paper. And at some point, when you feel complete about it, write what the truth is. What's the truth? The truth is, I'm being called to do this. This is my mission. I'm supported on my mission. The universe supports me in everything that I need. Clients are always signing up with me. The truth is, people love to work with me. People love to pay me. People love to be in my containers. My clients get amazing results. They're telling all their friends about it. I'm getting referrals out of nowhere. I'm a 6-figure coach with a wait list, right? That was my mantra last summer. I'm a 6-figure coach with a wait list. And that ended up getting to the point where, like, I had a wait list stacked up of people wanting to work with me for months, right? So it's a constant, the work of manifesting in your business is this constant flow of listening to the bullshit beliefs that are in your brain, getting them out of your brain, really feeling the emotions and the energy that they want to express through you, allowing those emotions to flow in whatever way feels good and supportive for you, and then to shift your energy, to shift to the next best thought, to shift to the affirmation or the mantra that is the new programming that you're putting in your brain, the new conditioning that you are adopting during this healing process, because really manifestation is just a fancy word for healing. So yes, this is recorded. It's going to be on IG Live after this. I don't see any more questions. So I really, really appreciate all your wonderful questions about limiting beliefs and going full-time in your business and selling big, longer, and more high-ticket packages so that you can have consistent income in your business. Super excited to answer these questions. This is a conversation I'm really, really passionate about. As you probably know from my example that I gave, I've got 2 more spots, maybe only 1 more spot left for E's retreat. So that is May 20th through the 25th in Sedona, Arizona. It's a 5-day retreat for spiritual women, spiritual entrepreneurs who are looking to reconnect with their own inner guidance. During this semi-silent retreat, we're going to really be dropping into ourselves and to our connection with Source, our connection with the loving intelligence, creative intelligence of the universe, because that's where all the answers lie. Yeah, manifestation is just another word for healing. Mic drop. Thank you, Heather. Alrighty, thank you all so much for joining today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed week. I am here. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM. There's tons of links in my bio to join donation-based breathwork and all of the fun things, to work with me one-on-one, to join the retreat. All of the links are there. I hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful day.